It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance beneath the cover of October skies. And all the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. And all the night magic seems to whisper and hush, and all the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more moment with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Well, I wanna make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning is come. And I know that the time is just right, and straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting to make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make it my own. Anytime I touch you, you just tremble inside. And I know how much you want me that you can hide. Can I just have one more moment with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love?
So Lisa Marie, ladies and gentlemen. Zimmer Entertainment, it's called Moon Dance. It's a big tune, I love it, but I tell no lie. Got a special show coming for you all this evening, alright? When I say special, I mean special. It's gonna be a vibe indeed.
I wanna make love to you too.
Yes, man.
Can't wait till the morning is gone. And I know that the time is just right, and straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting to make sure that you're never alone.
Walk on Weston.
Then all my
Large up, fam.
true dear, there and then I will make it my own. 'Cause anytime I touch you, you just tremble inside. And I know how much you want me that you can hide. Can I just have one more moment with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Can I just have one more moment with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Baby, can I have one more moon dance with you? One more moon dance with you. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Do tweet. Da 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 dee. Da 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 doo.
She's moved on, I've moved on, that's all good. Just a girl up the block that was hot, that I crushed on a lot. We were kids, so the vibe that we had for each other was crazy intense. But we hid from the people around us, they never could find out the things that we did. So we kept it a secret that no one could find out. Now look at you. I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3. Ah yes, you showed me you were young and fine and free. I ain't never gonna judge you. You ain't gotta pretend for me. A lot of time has gone by in our lives. We got kids, I got 3, you got 2. I see your family a lot on TV, and I like all the things that you do. But I'm starting to see all the things that I wanted in her isn't you. It's been wearing on me, and I'm starting to think that you're feeling it too. I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3.
Got a nice show for y'all about to get it started. Trust me, special guest gonna be in the building today. We talking about some things, you know, state of affairs, you know, stuff we gotta get into.
Is there more to our story than friends?
Yeah, man.
And if so, we ain't got to pretend. If I know.
Sending birthday love to everybody celebrating. Anniversary love to everybody celebrating anniversaries right now.
And do what we
anything dope, anything good, anything special, we got you covered, all right? Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. This one's a B with production. I know your story. Yours truly. Second single off the upcoming album. I'll tell you about that later, all right? Special stuff.
Just a girl up the block that was hot, that I crushed on a lot. We were kids. So the vibe that we had for each other was crazy intense, but we hid from the people around us. They never could find out the things that we did.
Hey, Claudia.
So we kept it a secret that no one could find out. Now look at you. I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3. Show me you were young and fine and free.
Sister Irie,
never gonna judge you.
How are ya?
Pretend for me. A lot of time has gone by in our lives. We got kids, I got 3, you got 2. I see your family a lot on TV, and I like all the things that you do. But I'm starting to see all the things that I wanted in her isn't you. It's been wearing on me, and I'm starting to think that you're feeling it too. I know your story.
Walk on, Heather.
And the way you used to be.
How you doing?
Oh, girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3. Ah, yes, you showed me. You were young and fine and free. I ain't never gonna judge you. You ain't gotta pretend for me. Our story than friends. And if so, we ain't got to breathe.
Walk on, Eugene.
If I know,
Joe.
and you know what we know, we can do what we both been really wanting to do for a while and just go. I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3. Ah, yes, you showed me. You were young and fine and free. I ain't never gonna judge you. You ain't gotta pretend for me. I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh, girl, you know me. We've been cool since we were 3. Ah, yes, you showed me.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole. He's got a heart of gold.
This one's Fiona. Expressions of my love.
I wanna hold you for the rest of my life. With my love, I'll surround you till the end of all time. Take you to places no one has been before. My love is so endless, still I love you more. Love you so wide like the ocean floor. And more, I need you like I need to breathe. I love you like I love to see. I miss you like you're missing me. I'll show you all of It's hard for me. Is there another way for me to be? Sitting by the phone waiting for you to call. 'Cause you say you'll call me back, but you never at all. Time just stands still against my will. Don't know if I'll make it through each day. Every time you go away, I need you. Like I need to breathe. Like I need to breathe. Love you. Like I love to see. I miss you. Like you're missing me. I'll show you all the expressions of my life. How did I find myself in this place where I know I would never walk away? Love you too much to leave. There's no option for me. No, I can't sleep. Tossing and turning till 3 in the morning. It's when you call and you tell me how much you love me. Need you. Need to breathe. Need you. Love you. So bad. Love to see. I miss you.
Y'all ready to get a show on the road?
Kissing me.
Hey, Hope, how are ya?
This is Wayne wanna say J Code, legal businessman. Bang, bang, boom.
I me say this a protege, eh? Homegrown with G Cole, what you say, eh? We make them know what reggae music we a play, eh? Hey, this is Protege, the one and only representing for G Cole, you know. Check it, ease out.
And we said them not got no style like we. G Cole, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, no wild like we. Accurate, Kabaka Pyramid representing for the #1 selector and radio host. It's all about G Cole, keep it locked. Accurate.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kalia. I'm hanging out with your boy G Cole on the Homegrown Show.
Yes. Welcome one and all. It is Homegrown with G Cole coming to the Massive and Crew live across the globe, all right? Got to big up everybody listening in on the Homegrown with G Cole platform. Those listening in on Jamaicans.com, watching live, I appreciate y'all big time. My YouTube fam, they always say I forget about my YouTube people. I don't do that, you know what I mean? So big up on my YouTube people, them. Large up, all right? Of course, all the radio affiliates, thank y'all so much for the vibe too, man. My UK fam, Rubber Ranks Radio, everybody. Large up. I want to say much thanks also to everybody that's hit me up right about now. Say, well, go on, G Cole. We need for it another one, and we need to get in this one. You know what I mean? The conversation's about to begin. Anytime you see me accent change, start to talk like this. You know, it's big things. You know what I mean? It's international things. You know, when we talk like this regularly, it's domestic. When we go like this and say, yo, go talk about big things, them is international things, worldwide thing. You know what I mean? Big up yourself, Sister Irie. Again, large up everybody listening in. Special guest in the building today. We got a dope convo we got to bring your way. Very, very important. But in the meantime, make sure you hit me up on social media at MyGCole, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you know who's going to be here, when they're going to be here, and what we're going to be talking about, all right? Those people who have yet to subscribe to the podcast, remember, Homegrown with G Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever listening to podcasts, we're there. Amazon Prime, all that good stuff, all right? Wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there. We listen to some great music. We talk to some great people. Big up all the musicians dropping great works. Thank you all so much for staying inspired, keeping us inspired. We all live in this real times, real world, and y'all do what you do so we can do what we do, and we appreciate it, all right? Big up all the dope albums that just dropped. Stephen Marley. Oh, that's my fave right now. That album there is what it's called, Old Soul. My favorite album out right about now. Richie Spice have a dope one too. Alicia Scott got a dope one out too. All right, so some dope stuff out there, and make sure to check them out. And of course, some nice singles out there. Nikki Fire got a brand new one. We're gonna drop that for you in a minute. But large up yourself, Tony Carr. Yours truly in the middle of an album project right about now. You know, so that's where I am, zoned in, trying to get it done for y'all. Haven't been this excited since the last album. You You know what I mean? Every time this time come around, I get excited. But listen, we got stuff coming your way. Stuff coming your way. Fire, 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 fire. I want to turn off. You can't hear it? The sound coming through? All right, cool. That means I'm guessing at the building, so I thought me I talk to myself. You know what I mean? Hint, 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 hint. Tell your friends to tell their friends to join us right here, because we got stuff to talk about. Lodge up J-Vibe. Appreciate y'all. Lodge up Vinny Hamilton. Got to lodge up Ed Robinson. Lodge up everybody helping out with this project. Thank you all so much. Be Will. Lodge up. All right? JR Theory. Lodge up. Stephen Murphy. Lodge up. Everybody. Appreciate y'all. Gonna drop one more on you. One more on you while you grab your glasses. Those who smoke, light up your thing. You know what I mean? Those people who do what you do. You know what I mean? Just get comfortable. Call two friends. I say, yo, it's time. You know what I mean? Because we got some things. That means we have some things I forget to know. All right? Some rumors to spread. All that. You know how we do. You know how we do. The Massive in Jamaica right now. Thank you so much. I see Hawaii is with us. DC's with us. Maryland's in the building. Thank you so much. And matter of fact, just tell me where you represent and we'll shout out home. All right? We'll big up everybody. Everybody. All the centennials. Listen, I got a couple people just turned 100 years old, man. 100 years old. I'm going to let y'all know straight up. If I'm in health like them, I want to rock it to 100 too. If my stuff is shaky, I'm out. I'm not staying with y'all. I'm leaving. I'm bouncing. You know what I mean? You're not telling me nothing. Don't give me no vitamins. You know what I'm saying? None of that. I'm gone. I'm just letting you know straight. So if I'm crooked, I'm shaky, and I carry things, don't give me no jello. I'm out. I'm just saying. Pour me some rum, and we do what we do. We go out like real G's. Fort Worth, Texas in the building. Well, go on, Heather. We got you, man. One more. Just one more. And then it's time to go. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. Homegrown.
I say you're never gonna get me down. Oh no. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take.
Hey, Joanne, Stone Mountain, Georgia. I got ties in Stone Mountain, all right? Lodge out the fam.
Such a blessing.
Hallelujah.
Life in this world that we all reside, and you can call it to what you want to. I just love my chilling time. I get a thrill like every day, sitting here and watching the children play. I read them a book and I tell them stories. You should hear the things they say. And every time somebody greets me, says hello, I take it easy. I say hello now, how you feeling? You be safe, it was a pleasure meeting you. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. There's no reason to get upset. Jah says to do your part, and he's gonna do the rest. Don't hurt your heart, it only causes stress. You may not realize it, but you're truly blessed. And I know sometimes it's hard. You worked all day and you don't see rewards. Come on, my brother, let down your guard. Aim for the skies, you might just reach the stars. I know it's money that you're trying to make, but if you're tired, you should take a break. It's not worth it if you break down. There's just a way too much at stake. Take a vacation if you want to. Spend some time with the ones that want you to be okay, because they love you. Oh my God, I said I won't.
Wagwan Eggman, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Wagwan King.
And it's a trip.
I shouldn't even be shouting out no North Carolina because you bounced on us.
And every time
You left.
take this journey,
You left.
just blows my mind away. Peace of mind.
You bounced.
Holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. Whoa, whoa, I say you're never gonna get me down. Oh no, take a vacation if you want to. Spend spend some time with the ones that want you to be okay, because they love you. Oh my God, J. Cole just wanna thank you.
That's the bar right there. Now we're talking reggae music. Is that going to talk Christianity? We have to bring the Bible. Talk reggae, we have to drop a big chop up. We legitimize the thing, you know what I mean? Nah, I might be giving away a copy of this vinyl tonight. You never know. Play your cards right, and I got one for you, all right? Just because I love y'all so much. It is about that time, ladies and gentlemen. This right here was the first single off the upcoming album. It is yours truly, G. Cole. It's called Peace of Mind is a Holiday. It's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I hope y'all are feeling the same.
Every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole. He's got a heart of gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome. I got a special guest in the building, and we got to dive into some things, you know what I mean? But he's an avid listener. He's an avid listener of music. Also, free up that Michelle that real fast. Microphone's open right now, so if you cuss off nobody, your time has passed. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lloyd Stanbury in the building. Let me turn around these cameras so that the people them know. Got them have a tendency. 3 minutes I'm giving. 3 minutes, and it has not improved. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Well, state of affairs, I hope you're doing better at the end of the evening, all right? More than all right.
Hope so.
State of affairs. By the way, have you been dialed into the recent new releases of music that's come up? But then again, you post the thing, man?
Yeah, just looking at, albums that have been released this year. And, I think an impressive amount,
You feel good about them?
Yeah, some good recordings were done.
Wow.
I guess it's probably stuff that people were doing over the COVID period. I suspect, people were at home a lot
work.
and recording. And a lot of albums came out this year. Very good ones.
And they were good.
Very good albums.
That's the thing, because most times when we get a lot, it them not normally.
Yeah, but this year was a very good year.
Good year for music.
Yeah, I think so.
Every time I hear folks like yourself talk about it, and I get my influx of the music coming from wherever it comes from, I always feel happy because we hear a lot about, we always hear the gripes, you know what I mean? And it now come out on Grammys and this and that, but when I say the scales are heavy, right about now, it's a bunch of stuff, but it's a bunch of good stuff. Alicia, Scott, I don't know if you dived into that one. Windrush Baby?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
Very good
nice.
album, yeah.
Good stuff.
Rory Stone Love, as you
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Large of yourself. And then, of course, I was having a convo about the Richie Spice album. Very nice album.
Yeah.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due, because somebody said to me, but some recycle rhythm. Because there are about 3 songs on there that he himself has a song on the rhythm, and do it over. But I'm saying to some folks is, it ain't easy. It is not easy to have a song on a rhythm that's a smash, that you're familiar with, that you know and love and you're into, and write another one on the same rhythm and have it sound equally. So that's props.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't see anything wrong with, utilizing works that are already out there, that are good works. If you, come with a new interpretation of that work, or you add something to it.
Growth is growth.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it to me,
Growth is growth. Ladies and gentlemen, chopping it up with Mr. Lloyd Stanbury. My multi-camera, so I'm going to make sure I say the word of them right, because I know he's got fans. I know he got fans out here, so I'm going to switch it. Make sure I say it right. I had, last week I had some guests inside the studio, and we're talking about, things trigger things. And it was that conversation was triggered by a flyer. And that flyer was the flyer from Reggae Rise Up, California, with one Jamaican artist on it. Down in the fine print, Lila Ike, one of my favorite artists. And it just created an uproar. And people were talking about it on Facebook. People were talking about it off Facebook. What was your take when you saw that flyer?
I saw the flyer, and I also saw the comments, that came with the posting of the flyer and after the flyer was posted. What the flyer is telling us, this is my view, is that because the flyer is called Reggae Rise Up.
Right.
It's a festival that, from what I can remember, started first in Florida. There's a Reggae Rise Up in St. Petersburg.
Right.
And now Reggae Rise Up, the flyer that came out is Reggae Rise Up in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Or was it California? Is Vegas?
Las Vegas, yeah. And I think there are other Reggae Rise Up festivals in other states within the United States. And this particular flyer, I didn't even know Lila Ike was on the festival, honestly, when I looked at it at first.
Right.
Until someone said, Lila Ike is on the festival.
Right.
And I had to, take out my magnifying glass and look.
I looked down a little further.
Down. And then I saw she was on the show.
Right.
So it's a reggae festival. That is how it is being presented to the public. And Lila Ike is the only Jamaican artist on it.
Right.
So, of course, all of the fans of reggae and from Jamaica and otherwise, I guess they were shocked to see that. I'm not really shocked.
Right.
Because what has been happening in the U.S. is the bands that are featured on that festival and other festivals like that, because this is not the only one. They have been building their market for their brand of reggae for many years.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of work, and they have generated a following, and they're presenting their music. In the past, they have had, a few Jamaican artists,
right,
in headline positions and otherwise. I don't know exactly why, why they have chosen now to present the festival with almost no artists.
None, yeah.
Yeah, from Jamaica. It's not that there aren't, worthy Jamaican artists, in my view, to be on that festival. But we need to try to find out, why exactly it is that we don't have more representation on these festivals. I think that's a question.
That's a real question, right?
I think that's
not why the flyer looks like this.
No, why do we not have?
What led to this flyer?
Right. I think that's what we need to dig into and try and get some answers to that, and then see what we need to do.
Right.
Because if it wasn't a bother to us, then there wouldn't be so much of an uproar. The fact that there's an uproar means that most of us think that there should be some Jamaican reggae artists on the festival.
Right.
So we need to try and find out why.
Why there's no representation. And we talk about representation too, because it's our, we see it as our thing, right? The music is a national, it's ours.
Well, Jamaicans, friends of Jamaica, once you say reggae, once you use that word, it's like Jamaicans say, you have to talk to me. you can't just use that word.
Blasphemy.
So it is something that's very dear to every Jamaican person.
Right. And rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because it is something that is, as I said, dear to us, precious to us. It has done a lot for us as a people. We're proud of it. And I think people want to own it.
Right.
But while we're owning it, and I don't think we should worry ourselves about it, because once you say reggae, you have to say Jamaican, and that will never change. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we need to worry about owning reggae. Reggae came out of Jamaica.
But would it be a situation where, like you say, we'll always be the forefathers, or rather the word that known us? It's like being a parent, still in the projects, and you got your kid who's successful living in Beverly Hills, right?
Yeah.
But they're not exactly sending any money back to mama. You know what I mean?
I think that is one way to look at it. Yes. Right. So we created this music that the whole world loves. And a lot of these musicians that are playing it, I don't think anyone should be, having a problem with musicians who are playing reggae music, regardless of where they're from or how they look, what color they have.
Right.
We shouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Misplaced vitriol.
Absolutely.
Right.
We need to find out why we are not participating in that space.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the musicians who are playing reggae music from California and the rest of the United States and the rest of the world, all good.
Wow.
All good, And if you look at the young artists that we are all proud of, and we are all hoping that they will continue to carry what a lot of us describe as roots or traditional reggae music or Jamaican music. All of them, almost all of them, collaborate with these artists.
That is true.
If you look at the headliners on the Reggae Rise Up, just check it. You know, they collaborate with the Marleys, they collaborate with Protege, they collaborate with Chronics, they collaborate with Kabaka,
Jesse, all
collaborate
of
with
them.
Jesse.
Yeah,
So what is that telling us?
yeah,
Our artists don't have a problem.
right.
Yeah,
So the artists aren't the ones,
the artists are
at
not
least
the problem.
not publicly, because a lot of times people can't say things publicly. It doesn't mean that they're not locked up in the studio, mad as all hell right now.
Yeah, but I don't think they have an issue
Right,
with the fact that other people are playing reggae music.
No, that's what I'm saying is that and you're correct. I don't think that's the issue or the concern for people who are really thinking about it. That's a concern for the other folks who just want to see reggae be a Jamaica thing, right?
Is that what we want to see?
I think people think they want to see that. Okay. There's a lot of things we think we want to know until we realize it might mean we have to buy a ticket. We got to show. Right, or buy a CD when it come out. Then we'll be like, all right, we gotta take it back, because that's half the problem.
Yes,
the lack of support. But you mentioned even, you know, the collaborative efforts between our artists and their artists. Because many of these bands that are on this flyer are bands that I've shared stage with when they were smaller. So it made me say to myself, I wonder if it's just an overall changing of the guards, because this particular flyer I saw over the course of the years. With the trajectory, right? You saw where our names are getting smaller, right? And it normally was the same names that was up there for a while. But not only that, their popular names that were populating the top of that flyer before are kind of gone too. There were 1 or 2 or 3 names that was always big up there, which is Stephen Marley. It would be like Stick Figure. It would be like Slightly Stupid and stuff like that. And they too have been climbing down the ladder. They're still there and still present, and they're being replaced by, you'd say, younger, more popular bands right now. But those younger popular bands are also from the same Cali, you know, American reggae scene. So I don't know. I've oftentimes said to myself, I wonder, is it evolution or is it calculation? You know what I mean? It's like there's always a little guy in the back room, Pinky and the Brain kind of style. In the back room, I calculate the thing and say, all right, it's going to take us 3 more years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's always a business calculation, you know, because music is a business. Yeah. And people are going to make decisions based on, you know, what they see as a viable business model for them to use, you know. I still don't know, and I think we should try to find out why it is that these festivals don't have a wider variety of what is referred to as reggae music.
Right.
Yeah. And the persons who are not happy, you know, with it and have not been happy with it for a number of years, since it is not new. This didn't just happen overnight last week.
And we've been steaming for a minute too.
It has been coming, you know, where other persons are developing, you know, their own style of reggae and building their markets and so on. Not just in the USA, all over the world. Yeah. If those of us who are not happy about what we see in a particular market, then I think we need to, one, find out what we're not doing to participate in that market.
Right.
And at the same time, look to how we can develop our own, you know, festivals or whatever it is, whatever means we need to get the music to the people, whether it be our own media channels through which we can get the music. You know, because we've been talking about the music and it not getting the right kind of support and exposure, but we haven't really done enough ourselves, those of us who are doing the talking, to create the pathway for ourselves. Yeah, which is what we should be focusing on.
Their market has done the talking.
Right.
Spoken with their resources.
Right. So we have been talking a lot for many years now. And I think it's about time for us to do some things.
Right.
And I think all we really need to do is come together.
Right.
You know, that's all we really need to do. All we need to do is come together.
Right.
Everything else will happen.
that phrase, I hear that phrase a lot, right? I hear the phrase of coming together. I hear the phrase of unity. I hear and it's not just regarding music. When we talk about the struggle of the black man come together, right? Which means me have $1 million and you have $4, but we come together. I don't know how that's gonna work, right? Because with the amount of resources each person has, the collaborative need and want shifts. You know what I mean? Those people want to collaborate with people with likewise resources. But if one were to speculate, we don't like to. But if one were to speculate, if Lloyd was to speculate, what would you think are some of the contributing factors to why we are not represented on those flyers and on those stages?
Well, we have heard a lot of while this was happening in the US, other things was happening in Europe. I just want to use that to so and through what was happening in Europe, and what was happening in Europe was we saw a press release coming out of what is reported to have been a meeting of 8 top European reggae festival promoters. Were saying, that they experienced reduced patronage at the festivals this year, and they're complaining. This is what the report said, complaining about
the initial
rising costs and what have you. And so there's a message being sent there that it's becoming more difficult for the promoters to engage artists coming out of Jamaica or from outside of Europe. Basically, that is what I read from that statement.
From the article itself.
From the article, right, itself. So one of the things that we have heard, and I'm using that as an example, is that it is costly. This is what promoters are saying. And it is more costly for the artists who have to travel from Jamaica to get to these festivals in the US or in Europe, and they have to build that cost into what they charge. So I think that might be a factor. It is more difficult for artists coming out of Jamaica to be available and present where these festivals are. So I think that is a contributing factor as to why you don't have as much of them there in those festivals. But also, I think we have not done enough to create that audience, or recreate, I should say, the audience for the music that is coming out of Jamaica. Within the United States especially. And I say recreate because there was a time in my lifetime when Bob Marley and Black Uhuru and a number of other artists, Third World, they were pulling crowds at big festivals and big events many, many years ago. So it's not that the music that is coming out of Jamaica can't find a place among the same demographic that is going to Reggae Rise Up. Because it's the same demographic that went to the big festivals and events that Bob Marley and Third World and so on played at many years ago. Yeah. So it's not a product problem from Jamaica. It's how we are marketing,
it's a marketing issue.
Our output from Jamaica. I'm not talking about marketing of the individual artists, marketing of the Jamaican music output. Just like how we can approach the tourism product. And I'm going to say, the government don't like to hear that, right? But the government of Jamaica set up an infrastructure to promote and market Jamaica. Not sandals or another brand. Jamaica. And Jamaica as a tourism product. Well, we should be doing the same thing for our music.
And when you say we
meaning the same partnership that allowed us to build a tourism sector, tourism industry, which is government and people with money and people who work in the tourism industry. The same kind of partnership is required for music.
Right,
You know,
right,
the practitioners of the music, people who want to invest in the music, and the government playing their role.
Right.
To develop some kind of a plan, national plan, just like how they had a plan for tourism for the music of Jamaica, so that we can address
the issues.
We can find out the reasons why we're having these issues that everybody is concerned about, and we can come up with some solutions.
I've heard more people concerned about this than the crime in the island, and they're concerned about the crime in the island. You know, you mentioned, and what I'm taking from that, and it's something that I've spoken about with others, is not stimulating the marketplace, right? Because the generational, the age out happens too, right? We talk about the Bob Marley audience, right? Bob Marley audience not necessarily walking through the doors of reggae rise up right now. They've aged out.
Yeah.
So there are younger crop of people coming through, which they're supposed to be dialed into a younger set of artists. So it means somehow, some way that the new crop of artists have not managed to stimulate this audience as did Bob and Third World in stimulating the other one, right? Now, how does one, people always say, well, it's the lyrics and the this and the that. And the reason why I cannot go down that road with them as far as saying it's the lyrics, these are not dancehall festivals. These are reggae festivals. So what's happening pretty much is they weren't for our dancehall artists anyway. So the lyrics that we're talking about, the reggae artists are still making those lyrics. So obviously when we talk about, some people blame it on the product a lot, right? I tend to blame it on marketing, like you say, but also blame it on the fan base, the squealing fan base. You know what I mean? We squeal until you say ticket price is $20, right? Then we mum. So it's trying to figure out exactly who. Because I got no problem saying to the masses and the fans out there pretty much that you guys are dropping the ball too. And we talk about government. I say this a lot when it comes to music. R&B and hip-hop does not belong to the United States. It belongs to the artists. It belongs to the patrons, right? But reggae belongs to Jamaica. Reggae is the biggest and freest marketing tool that Jamaica has ever had, and has, to me, done a way better job than the government has, right? Sometimes the government, I get some credit that really deserve to go to reggae music. So they should invest in marketing the product. But that's a conversation we'd have to sit down and have with them. And they're not watching this. The ones that are watching this are the people involved in the music, right? If we're going to speak to them and say, I don't have all the answers, but you might want to try this, what should they try to do? Because I see the flyer there, and sometimes I wonder if, as with many other things, damage can be irreparable. You know what I mean? So what would you say? Hey, try this. This might be what you need to do.
Well, I think people who are concerned and are voicing their concerns about what they see happening, whether it be a trend or not, some of these persons need to, I would say, stop focusing on what might appear to be a gatekeeper. Because whenever these conversations come up, that word gatekeeper pops up and is bandied around the place a lot. And I would suggest that we start looking at the gate openers. Right? And forget this gatekeeper concept. And focus more now on those who are trying to open the gate. And support those persons, and forget that there are gatekeepers, because the music that is coming out of Jamaica, no gate can keep it in. So anybody who's sitting here talking about gatekeepers, they're wasting time. We need to focus on the persons who are opening gates.
It's funny. I hate that word. The word gatekeeper, when it comes to reggae, oh my, it's like a roach to me. I can't stand it, right? And it tends to come up. Normally it comes from the same voices, right? And it comes up when these conversations come up. But here's the thing. You've been in and around this music and this business and this industry for a while, right? When you talk to people in mainstream scenarios, they use words like Illuminati, right? And nobody can identify the Illuminati, right? But we're a smaller sect, so we must get spot a man. Who's the gatekeeper like? Have you ever met him?
I have asked the question, and usually told, like, in a number of different categories. The gatekeeper includes artists. This is what I'm told. Gatekeeper includes people like you.
What?
Yes, people like you who are who are part of the media, and you have the tools with which to expose music. So people point to media practitioners as gatekeepers. People point to promoters even as gatekeepers. People point to artists and producers who they claim give priority to some persons and shut the door on others. So every category of participant is a potential gatekeeper, right? So I'm saying if you keep talking about gatekeepers, you'll never get anywhere.
Find a gate opener.
There are persons who are trying to open the gates.
Yeah.
But
some people don't know where the gate is.
Some people don't even know where the gate is. That too. So why don't we just spend some time to try and look for some gate openers, because they are there, right. and the gate openers, just like how you said a gate opener can be an artist. The gatekeeper can be an artist. The gate opener can be artists too. Yeah. And there are artists who are opening gates.
Yeah.
And we know who they are. And we're supposed to big them up, support them, and help them to really open the gates.
Right.
Rather than criticize them. 'Cause we love to criticize those people as well. So we spend too much time criticizing people.
Yeah.
And you against me. If we just came together, we know all of the problems.
Right.
If we just came together, we could find ways to address things like what we saw on that flyer.
Right.
If it so happens, because we don't know, if it so happens that these people are strategizing, and it is not impossible, because we have seen what has happened to other music forms. And we have to be realistic. I watched Little Richard the other day, and I said, rotted. All of them man there. I said, all of them man, they idolized Little Richard.
Yeah.
And they all now say, man, I'm trying to follow him.
Yeah,
all the guys who we call big superstars, whether they be Mick Jagger or David Bowie or whoever, they say they were all trying to be like Little Richard.
Yeah.
Right? But what we saw publicly was that rock and roll was basically had a white face.
Right.
Yeah, and we have to just be real, So that has happened in music before, not just with rock and roll, jazz, So there are a lot of persons who are of the view that reggae is now going through that experience.
Right.
And you can't cast that aside.
Wow.
We have to be realistic and know that other music forms have been through that scenario. So we have to keep our eyes open to the possibility that that is also happening.
Could be afoot.
Yeah.
And we are, because the thing about, we always, and I don't know if it's smoke screens or just distractions or whatever, but oftentimes we're looking in one direction, and sometimes you wonder if they give you something to look at while they do whatever. Because I had the conversation I was having last week, and I hear it all the time. People express a certain level of comfort, even in the level of production and whatever music comes from Europe and the UK. I get on my soapbox a lot, and I complain a lot, because I feel like there's something about Europe and UK that we hold a certain reverence to, that they can pull the wool over our eyes and get away with it and we won't notice. A perfect example is production will come from UK that's far inferior to anywhere else, but because it's come from England, somehow, some way, it's like a Clarks. We are treated like a Clarks, and it must bad, right? So it goes the same way with the music and the festivals over there, because again, some people express a certain level of safety and feel like this is only an American thing. This will happen in America, but it won't happen there too. And my thing is, I feel like music in general, reggae music in general, is about 15 years dated in Europe and UK. So what's going on in Jamaica? What's going on, which ultimately is the US too? The UK and Europe are probably about 20 years behind. So this flyer probably is 20 years behind for something like this to happen in Europe also. But some people express a certain level of comfort and safety that this might not or will not happen in Europe. How do you feel about that?
I think Europe has a different history in terms of the development of the reggae music market. It has a different history than the United States, and which is why my response to a lot of the talk was to go back to marketing. You know, because marketing means, you know, the whole world is not, almost never ever a homogeneous market for any product or service. You know, you have to prepare, or you either have to prepare for the market, or you have to know where the market is for what you are doing.
Right.
You know, so I don't know if we can, you know, safely say that what is happening here is just either behind or ahead of what is likely to follow in Europe, because the music market there developed in a different way from the music market was developed in the US. You know, so there can be different outcomes. So I would rather wait to see,
Right.
you know, rather than predict that it is going to follow and one is just a little bit ahead of the other. I don't want to say that.
Right.
It's two different markets.
Right.
With different history and
Yeah.
and even a different way of dealing with, in some respects, dealing with how the cultural and creative industries are supported, you know, in one country as against another.
Right.
All of those things factor into what is going to happen
Right.
to the future of our music outside of Jamaica, which is what I think we should be concerned about. You know, I mean, what is happening inside Jamaica is very important, but from a business standpoint, you know, the world, the whole world is the marketplace for this music that we have created. You know, so it's like we create a thing, and the market is just so big that we have not been able to manage ourselves within that big space that we have thrust ourselves in, you know, and other persons who have sometimes more resources than we do, usually more resources than we do, are able to, you know, pull things together and make it work for them.
When I heard the rumblings, right? Again, started by the flyer was one thing, but the article, I think, created its own set of rumblings thereafter. Started thinking, I wonder how much the lack of visas and work permits and whatnot might have contributed to that. Should we give any credence to the thought that might have affected that too?
Yeah, that's a big contributor. You know, it costs an artist coming out of Jamaica a lot more to get to the festival than the artist who lives, if it's a US festival, and the artist who lives in the United States.
Right.
You know, so that is definitely, you know, a barrier, or, you know, a challenge that makes it for sure more difficult.
And I mean, there are many reggae artists who, you know, masquerade as being residents of Jamaica, and they're not. They're really residents here. So when that came up, I was kind of wondering and hoping to myself that, well, at least, you know, it's like when a Grammy award is going out. If you don't see the right people, you want to at least you see them people there, so that at least they can feel represented. So I was saying to myself, man, I wonder why not the artists that, you know, are the Jamaican people, but they live here, so they don't have to worry about the work permit and the visa scenario.
Yeah, that's a very good point, you know, but that's a problem that we Jamaicans have to fix. Right? And I'm speaking as someone who lives outside of Jamaica. There's a tendency to split Jamaica into, this is just one Jamaica. It's one Jamaica. But there's a tendency, you know, to split Jamaica into one. Say, boy, you run away. You know, you love to say that to Jamaicans who do not live on the island. You know, and if we were to take another approach, the approach that a lot of other people take, you know, where you, as I say, come together. You know, there are divisions at all kinds of levels. You know, if we were to work more closely between those of us who chose to remain on the island and those of us who have gone outside.
Right.
You know?
The diaspora.
Like so many of us have gone outside. Marcus went outside, you know.
Yeah.
We seem
Bob
to forget that. Bob too.
Yeah.
Yeah? So there's nothing wrong with going outside, because these are some people that we hold them up here, right? But they went outside.
Right.
Yeah? And it's because they went outside why they were able to accomplish what they accomplished.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with going outside. There's nothing wrong with, we don't run away.
But it's ownership, and people that like ownership.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is having Jamaicans living in the United States who are making the same reggae music that you would make if you're back in your yard in Jamaica. That's an asset.
Yeah. Don't devalue that.
Yeah, that's an asset.
Yeah.
Don't think that the man them run away.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I hear that a lot.
We should be working more closely to find ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're carrying the music.
Yeah. Where you can't go.
Yeah, you believe it or not, a whole lot of there are a whole lot of half of Jamaica lives outside of Jamaica.
Yep.
And we're not taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Right? So if we just, as I said, come together and figure out how we are going to find a plan to really market this thing called Jamaican music. I mean, we love to use the word reggae, but reggae, from a marketing standpoint, reggae means everything that comes out of Jamaica musically. Yeah. But there's a difference between reggae and mento and ska and rocksteady and dancehall music.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And there's another place for that distinction to be highlighted.
Yeah.
But once you're talking about marketing the music of Jamaica, we just say reggae. It doesn't mean that we don't know that ska different from rocksteady. But marketing-wise, we just use that word.
Reggae. It's the brand. It's the umbrella.
Right. It's as an umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to come together and find ways to address these issues. When they pop up, everybody's blood pressure goes up. Everybody start talking, and I mean,
I had to drink a couple gallons of water myself because it was going up.
I've seen comments on my post that I never ever saw from people before. I know they're in my network,
Lurking.
but I never see them comment before.
Yeah.
And this is the first time
They're hurt.
I've seen some people actually have something to say.
Yeah.
You know.
But then some people always have something to say.
And then some people always have something to say and not saying anything. But I'm just saying that if it is so much of a concern, we've been talking for about this particular issue to do with, which basically is about Jamaicans participating in reggae feeling like they're being displaced. Because that's basically why we get, excited and stressed out and start talk and carry on. Right? I'm saying if we are so concerned and we've been so concerned for so long, just try to do something. And the easiest thing.
Stop pressuring people. I'm like,
no. I'm just saying, just come together.
That's not what we do.
Well,
we sing.
We won't be talking forever. Then,
That's not what we do. Big up the people that are watching in. I shout out to Mish. Thank you so much for joining the program. Eggman. Let me see here. The Richard Spice album is called Black Man Time. Let me see here. Streaming changed everything, and not to mention the quality of the music and the lyrics. That's J5. And unity's not there. I hear about the unity and the disunity situation a lot. And funny enough, reggae artists, when the cameras come on, they're not like my brethren, right? So I think it is possible that the unity that we think we see amongst the non-Jamaican artists is also a front. You know what I mean? You never know. So again, when we try to say it's the lack of unity that's causing it, from the vantage point of we're so small and we need all the numbers, yes. But everybody is as tight as we'd like to think that they are.
Yeah, but we need to also, pay attention to where the music started, how it started.
Right.
In the very early days, and you talk to any one of those musicians who were around in that time. Yeah. And there's a simple solution to all of what we're talking about is people need to just get together like we used to. Because when they were early Studio One days.
And you mean, when you say people, you mean the artists? The artists. The practitioners.
Yeah. There was camaraderie among most, and they helped each other in those times. And that contributed a lot to the success of the music. Yeah. The fact that people work together, collaborate, you know, help each other, support each other. And we saw another demonstration of that at another level with a group of youths who other people call them all kind of name and you know
The recent.
berate
Yeah.
what people were describing them as. I'm talking about people were calling the reggae revivalists.
Right.
Yeah. And they practiced that. You know, they helped each other. And they're all successful. All of them.
So the unity we say we haven't seen, when we see it, we don't like what we see.
Yeah. You know, because they practice that.
Yeah.
And all of them successful.
Let me ask you this too, because you're perfect. That's facts right there, and that you're absolutely right. They have had a level of success that we haven't seen in another corner, and obviously the cohesive mentality that they have helped for that.
Yeah. So we need. I think we need to extend that beyond just the artist.
Yeah.
You know, and the other.
So you want collaborative effort between
everybody who's involved, who talk in plenty.
Yeah, all the people who have something to say.
Right, no, they need to just come together
and stop talk plenty.
And we'll find solutions to all of these problems, whether it be Reggae Rise Up or European Festival or whoever we think is locking us out or shutting us down or depriving us of participating in this cake. We can find ways to eat the cake.
Right.
You know I'm saying?
Gluten free.
Yes. If we just came together.
But you know, all right, something I noticed, and I don't know if this would help or hinder or whatever the case may be, but whenever we reach these hurdles, and this happens not just in music, the folks that aren't as hungry don't speak up, right? I wonder sometimes, is it I don't want to upset the apple cart or what? But the thing is, you know, you hear people complaining, but if it's amongst the artists, there are certain voices that you will never hear.
Well, this time around, I'm hearing them.
Everybody.
I don't know what everybody, but I'm hearing voices
that you didn't normally hear before.
That are not hungry voices.
Oh, for real?
Yes, and they're saying, you know, we need to stop the talking and just get down to work and do what needs to be done.
Right.
And everything will be okay, you know. But we like to just complain and
that's what we do. It's an easy thing to do.
Blame others, and we tend not to look at ourselves to see what we have been doing wrong or what we have not been doing right. You know?
Introspection is not a strong point of ours.
But at the same time, we need to keep our eyes open.
Right.
In terms of, you know, what has happened before in music. You know, where, as I said earlier, you know, there are other music genres that have suffered the same thing that we are seeing, to the point where we the public rather got a certain impression about music forms which was not really accurate. Right. The same thing can be happening to reggae music as we speak.
You know, something that's always bothered me, again, in and out of music, is not complaints, but sometimes who's complaining. And I always feel like if you've got the right to complain, if you've earned the right to complain, if you contribute in a certain way and you don't see the rewards and you complain, I see it, right? But it irks me. And again, the views of G. Cole does not represent those of Lloyd Stanbury, Jamaican.com, anybody coming in. But it irks me, right? When somebody says, the gatekeepers are holding back, you know, and they're playing, they start specifying what's being played. They said they're playing these young artists that's not saying certain things, and they start calling them, right? Again, the same unified troops that you spoke of. And then they say also, and if it's not them, then you're playing the ones who've already broken into the market. You know what I mean? You play Berries, you play D-Bro, and you play the people who already bust, right? And I said to myself, wow, you know what, mate, this guy sounds pained. So maybe I should listen to his works. And maybe his work is just as good as Bob's. Maybe it's just as good as Berrick's. And maybe he is not getting his just due, right? And after I listened to it, the determined fact was, no, there's probably a reason why you're not getting your just due here. And the problem to me is not the work there. It irks me because I want the voices that's complaining have the reference that they can bring quality works to the table and say, hey, I've got this. Why am I not getting support? Rather than have some inferior works and you gripe and complain, because that is the part that I put on artists. putting out material that is not up to a certain standard and expecting to be competitive in a marketplace that the level and the line has already been drawn. Right, so that bothers me a lot, right? But again, like I said, I just feel like a lot of time the voice is the wrong voice. Call your friend, we make good music and tell them to complain. But we can't all be doing that. But I'd love to hear some of the people who have a platform or who have a voice, and of course who have the quality material to back it up. Get on the train too. I hate the word wagons, I'm gonna say train, and just, be unified and support the thing. Some people sit down quietly because they're not hit as hard when these things happen.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. I think at the same time, we also need to ask ourselves the question, have we created enough outlets that will focus on advancing this same music that we say is being held back? And by that I mean, everything is changing in terms of the channels through which music gets to the public. It's easier.
Right.
Yeah, it is way easier today to start a radio station than it was years ago when you needed a
towers.
building and towers and all kind of engineering and what have you.
Right.
We're now at a place where you just need a laptop and good internet connection.
Yeah.
And you can be a broadcaster. That's also dangerous.
Very. Very.
But we are in a space in time now where technology allows us to create
Conspiracy theorists would say, Babylon said no, but it's not true. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. I'm going to set this up for you real fast. Conspiracy theorists, I got to tell Mr. Boy, the gatekeepers just pull a number. But it's not a gatekeepers, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a gatekeepers. We're back in the building. Yeah. Sir Lloyd. Sir Tony Carr, we're good now. You can't hear us now. We go back again to the concept of the gatekeepers, right? And I saw when somebody responded and said all of these folks are and possibly, potential gatekeepers. Not to say that they're wrong or right or whatever the case may be, but you mentioned your response to it was let's find the gate openers, right? Which I think we should patent that. Should definitely patent that phrase, the gate openers. And then we talk about now the distribution services, how easy it is to do the radio station, right? How easy it is now to stream the music. Now, sometimes a gift is a curse, right? And we find that with folks being able to stream the music so easy, people are dialed into the major streaming services, the Spotify's and stuff like that, which we are not heavy presences on, right? How much does that contribute to why we're not in these major spaces? Because the streaming part of it, right? our music is not getting out there ahead of the game or even competitively out there for people to listen. And the people who are dialed into these streaming services are people walking through these gates because our people, not up on the streaming services, them for the most part, sometimes, and our people were never the ones that were buying those tickets, right? So outside of the fact that we need to buy tickets and go to these festivals if we really want to complain, how does the concept of streaming affect us not being in those venues right now, since music is now more consumed from a streaming platform?
It does. You know, if the major streaming platforms aren't giving us the kind of bandwidth, you know, the kind of presence that we think we deserve, and it has never, when it was traditional radio, we never got a whole lot of radio play, you know, but we still were able to, we meaning Jamaican music, we were still able to have a significant place, you know, within the US or European live music markets, you know. We were not, we never had as much competition from homegrown reggae. I don't mean you, you know.
No, I know.
You know, in that time,
Right.
you know. So we are in a different time now where, you know, reggae from those home territories which are foreign to us is also competing. Yeah, so we have to be more aggressive in our efforts to create our own spaces.
Right.
Yeah, to present our music
Right.
in the streaming space ourselves. Yeah, we were never ever getting enough radio play in the early days either.
Right.
You know, but we were still able to participate, primarily because then we never had so much competition from reggae from the United States or reggae from Europe.
And they have gotten better.
They have gotten better, and they are, you know,
Sticking to reggae.
not just sticking to reggae, but they are finding ways of using technology to get the message to their audience
More so than we are.
more so than we are.
But our people,
they're doing better marketing. I'm not going to stop using that word.
right.
They're doing better marketing of what they are producing. You know, and I saw people making comments like, "Oh, we need to fix the product." I'm not dissing. Jamaica still does have the best reggae product.
Right.
Yeah, not all of it, by far, not all of it.
But we
right?
still are superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have a product problem. You know, we have a problem with how we are getting the product to the people. We're not doing a good job at that at all, and others are doing much better than us.
Is evolution affecting us in terms of, you know, I every time I see an artist do something different, I hear people complain about it, and sometimes I say, listen, these people are artists, they're human beings, they might be bored, want to try something else. But we talk about reggae festivals, right, with bands that what they do is reggae. We can correlate this to the Grammy, like the recent one, right, with Soulja, where when I listen to all the actual nominees, I think Soulja was the only band that had a full reggae album, right? Most of the others had some deviations here or there, right? Now, how much does that contribute to the fact that the sound of the reggae in volume-wise has changed? We still have the potent reggae music coming from those people, but some of those people also are now, I would say, bored, or they're experimenting, and the sound is not exactly reggae, or what people from the outside know of reggae they're hearing, right? Is that affecting it also? The fact that we said we don't have a product problem, which I agree with, but there are shifts in the product, and sometimes I think we conflate the market with the marketplace. But do you think that the fact that the music in itself has changed affects that?
No, I don't think so, because the music from Jamaica was always music that was experimenting and, you know, mixing with other music forms. That is how we came to have this music in the first place. So we have always been experimenting with the music. You know, if we weren't experimenting, we would still be playing Mentor, right? So there's nothing wrong with experimenting. It's experimenting that moved us from Mentor to ska,
Right.
to rocksteady, to
Right.
reggae, to dancehall.
Right.
That spawned dub music and EDM music and reggaeton music and Afrobeats music were all influenced
Right.
by experimentation that happened within Jamaica and with persons who liked reggae and took, was influenced by what they heard in reggae.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with the music changing. There's always been changing, and
So the artistry is not the problem.
no. I don't think so at all. Because even the bands that are on Reggae Rise Up, that are considered reggae bands, they're not playing what we would call 100%.
That we wouldn't consider reggae.
They might have all kind of rock and thing fused,
in.
and hip hop and stuff fused into it. And that has certainly opened them up to a wider audience.
Right.
you
Right.
know, but we were always doing that in Jamaican music. Yeah. So I don't think that is really.
Right. Right.
So the artists and almost all of these young artists that I mentioned before, they're doing the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So to some degree, if we're searching for the cure is what I'm going to say, right? Not identifying the problem, but searching for the cure. It could be said that maybe the limited ones, the artists that have a limited scope, to some degree might affect it too, because the marketplace that's expanded and those people who are coming in with the ears that are accustomed to or are looking for a particular sound, which might be familiar and some unfamiliar. Those people who are core reggae heads, and then those people who are bringing in from the other R&B, hip hop, rock, whatever the case may be, maybe are not being experimental enough. Could be an issue too. Do you think?
I don't think it's an issue because it's a very big world. We live in a very big world that is diverse, and I mean, there are reggae bands. There's a virgin in Argentina named Jed Marai or something like that. Can't remember his name.
Big up Argentina.
Right, and he plays straight up 100% reggae music. And most people in reggae don't even know who he is.
Right.
And this man is approaching something like 1 billion views.
Oh wow.
On YouTube.
And where do you think? Because
Right?
you say Argentina.
Of some of his, and if you listen to the songs that he's playing, he's not fusing in any hip hop. He's not bringing in any rock and roll.
He's giving you straight reggae.
Straight reggae.
Yeah.
Only difference is that he sings in Spanish. That's the only thing that's different. And the kind of numbers that he's generating in the streaming space, whether it be YouTube or wherever, it's phenomenal.
So that speaks to the marketplace.
That
speaks to the marketplace,
exactly my
right?
point. Right. The world is a big world, so there are places in the world where they want the straight reggae. And you can get billions of views
from those folks.
Straight reggae. Yeah. And then there are places in the world where they want reggae mixed in with hip hop and R&B and rock and
and which a lot of that market space is the North American market space.
Yeah, so we just have to understand that the world is a very big world, and this music that comes out of Jamaica is in every part of the world. So we can't approach it the same way everywhere. We can't do that, and we can't have the same solutions that we're gonna apply to the United States. We can't have that same solution for the African continent,
right,
or for South and Central America, or for Europe, or even for Asia. Yeah. So we have to. That's why I'll even go back to the word of marketing, a global marketing plan.
That was the last Pose Your Voice, right?
Yeah, that we have to, find a way to design this plan that is gonna fit within a much bigger plan for the music industry of Jamaica, and we just need to just sit down and just do it.
We've
been talking about it for about 30 years.
I've heard, we've been griping and complaining, and couldn't say it any more accurate. And we talk about sitting down and putting the plan together. But I always wonder who going to sit down and put the plan together. Because like you mentioned earlier, let's talk about the marketplace before I even go there, right? We talk about the marketplace. The whole world is in love with this reggae music. But there are some markets bigger than others. Some markets that we don't have the capability of getting in except from a novelty standpoint. When I hear people talk about the South American market to some degree, right? Like gentleman from Argentina, he's able to tap into a huge market that a lot of our people aren't able to tap into, just based on a language scenario, right? But we focus on the North American market, predominantly the United States of America, because it is the biggest landmass in which once we touch down, it gives us a big market right there. The other marketplaces, we're going to have to fly left, right, and center, right? But we are heavily focused on the U.S. marketplace, right? Because I'm sure there's a flyer in Argentina that ain't got none of us on it, and nobody has spoke about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. No, 100%.
So the marketplace, a big festival, but we didn't even know that, right? Because when we say Argentina, I'm married down a load of that thing, but I'm messy right now.
Right.
So, but we're talking about the U.S. market space.
Yeah.
And it is an important.
Very important.
Market space, right? We've seen, but I think, I wonder if it's just our lack of representation that people are concerned about, or the potential for extinction in the marketplace. It's like when we talk about Japan. There's a time when
I think people are concerned about both.
About both of those.
Yeah.
Because even Japan, right about now, the effect that we used to have in Japan and the stronghold we used to have, we don't have anymore. And it's not because we haven't marketed to them, it's because they've created their own.
Yeah. So you're right, you know, and as I said, I think it's both. And I don't think there is any fear. I have no fear about the extinction of reggae.
Not reggae, Jamaican reggae.
But I do have a fear and a concern about Jamaica having a increasingly diminishing presence. Yeah, I am concerned about that.
Right.
You know, and the only way that can be stopped, if we think it is something that should stop, and I think it is.
Right.
Is for us to recognize that it is possible, it is likely, it is probably happening in some places, and the only way to address it is for us to just come together and find solutions. And the solutions are not rocket science.
So if I'm throwing you in the chair now, you make it a night. I'm knighting you leader of the Cure Corp, right? So you're here to cure the thing, right? So I've seen and stated, and I've always felt like a major part, a major cog, major spoke in the wheel of reggae music to get it, of Jamaican reggae music. And let me particularly say that because, like you so eloquently stated in some of your posts, reggae is not struggling, it's Jamaican reggae struggle, right? So if Jamaican reggae is to make it, unfortunately, we cannot do it without the help of government. While other places can do them thing independently, strictly private sector don't need the government. We do, right? Because and I feel like they're obligated to just based on the benefits that they reap from it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that other places people do it without government. Because government involvement don't mean we don't want government in with business.
Yeah, we don't want them in the studio.
No, we don't. No, they're not supposed to be in the studio, and I don't think they should be putting on any shows either. Right. So that's not what we're talking about, you know. But government involvement happens in the United States.
In what regard?
I mean, there are at every level too. At the federal level, there are opportunities for funding. Right, at the state level, there are opportunities for funding.
For the events, for the different
funding of anything cultural. They are cutting it, you know. Don't get me wrong; these things are
right
under attack in various places. In your very city, there are opportunities for support. Yeah, so that's how. And government means city government. County government, state government, federal, within the United States context. And there are support mechanisms throughout. Yeah. So to say that the people in the U.S. do it without government support is not correct. You know, and the same thing goes for Europe and many other places.
So they have government support.
They do have, because they can reach out to places to get all kind of facilities.
Permits.
They have good. They have good performing arts facilities. They don't have to make a performing art facility
for an
every
event.
time there is some fest.
Right.
They have to make the place and then dismantle it afterwards. Right? So yeah, and some of these places in America are city owned or county owned.
Right.
Yeah, or funded by.
So what would you say to the folks that said that in the US that's feasible, or maybe even in Europe, because the infrastructure, the money,
them have money.
Well, not even just the
Them have money in Jamaica because them pay all for money for Chris Brown.
So money's not an issue.
Jamaica don't have a money problem
it's
when
not
it
a
comes
money
to
problem.
music because people pay a lot of money.
That's a breezy.
That's a Chris Brown, right? So I don't want to hear about
Debunked.
money. I don't want to hear about money.
Yeah, so money's not the issue here. Toss that out the window.
In Jamaica, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Right? It's priorities.
Why don't we have? Oh, so priorities is the reason we don't have our proper venue. Because I think all we need is three.
I would think so. You know that we have our priorities wrong. You know, I think we should, since Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica get so
riled up,
riled up. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you want Jamaican people to love you, and friends of Jamaica to love you, just fix the reggae thing. I don't. To me, it's a no-brainer. Just work with not just reggae, our culture. Right? If you just focus on fixing creating the opportunities for us to express ourselves in our culture.
Why do they refrain from doing that, though? Why haven't they done that?
It's not just governments, you know.
Right.
All of these things require a partnership.
Right.
A partnership between government and the persons who are the practicing creatives. Got them have to do their part, and they have fallen short.
Right.
Government loves to blame them and say, "Boy, you guys not ready," because that happened in the same little conversation here. There are people who spoke from positions within government of Jamaica saying, "Well, you guys not ready. You guys need to get ready and get the thing going." It's a partnership.
Right.
It's a partnership between those in the government, those who are making the culture, or practitioners of the culture, and those who want to invest.
Right.
There's three people you need, right, to come together, and everything else is easy. Everything is, we're not inventing anything.
Right.
We don't need to invent anything.
So we need the practitioners. We
need
need
the
investors.
practitioners. We need people with the money.
And we need
and some of the
for everything.
practitioners have money. And they must stop by Hennessy and reinvest. No, seriously. Some of the practitioners have serious money. There's no
Too much Hennessy about it.
And then some of the practitioners who have money and access are doing things and people cussing them.
Yeah.
Right? something. So we need to just stop the cussing and the talking and just recognize where the gate openers are.
Right.
Yeah. And just work with the gate openers.
Right.
And forget the gatekeepers.
Right.
Look at Doobie say, nobody can stop reggae.
Right.
In a real sense. You cannot stop it. And if you are there worrying about the gatekeepers, sometimes they don't have a gate. And you're worried about him and his gate don't work. Nobody even want to go through his gate.
Yeah, film gate and lead nowhere.
Leads nowhere.
Oh Lord.
But you're preoccupied with worrying about him. And you have a whole place. It's not even a gate. there isn't even a gate over there. And you cannot walk right through.
Right.
But you're worried about the guy who's holding the gate and nobody wants to go through that gate because it leads you nowhere.
We saw gatekeepers. We saw the article that, because the flyer thing was one thing. That was US, right? We saw the article, which again there's a retraction statement come out that wasn't from all parties involved. It just came from Uppsala, right? And in that article it stated that really is only Gil had that viewpoint, that vantage point, that patronage and whatever was done. Doesn't mean that everybody else didn't share the sentiment. It's just that the others didn't co-sign you putting the market, the leaking information out. How much of that kind of stuff do you think is by design? Why would people? We speculate here now, but you all come together as a union, and then the information goes out that this is what's happening, I am almost inclined to think that the official statement is more accurate than the retraction.
You see the world that we live in right now. With you have to be very careful with what comes out as a news report or information these days, because we have come to, be very skilled at misusing information,
Right.
and also using information, for your own purposes, when it is not really telling the true story about what is going on. And that happens every day around us.
Right.
And it's like everybody does behave like that. So I don't know what happened there. When I saw that statement at first, it seemed odd
Right.
to me that
Especially when it's at 50%.
8 festivals would all have the same complaint. And yet, while the festivals were happening, I never heard after any one of the festivals that, man, wow, the crowd turnout was bad. I never heard that coming from any one of the festivals.
And we're also at a time where we can't see it too.
Yeah, because some of these festivals
are streamed.
Yeah, so you can see what is going on.
Yeah.
So I was very suspicious of the statement when it came out at first, and I was not surprised when another statement came out saying it doesn't really reflect the position of all participants at the meeting.
Right.
So that whole scenario there is not helpful at all. And I would hope that the persons who came together in Europe would use the opportunity to address whatever issues there might really be out there that's affecting, the growth of the European reggae festival circuit, and we just move forward, because reggae ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And I mean, the fact that, as the report was suggesting, some of the younger audience members are drifting more towards Afrobeats, because we heard that kind of comment coming out of the whole story. Reggae ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And Afrobeats is not at war with reggae. The artists who do Afrobeats, you just need to tell them, you want to come to Jamaica, and they're ready, So the artists are not the problem.
And even from a competition standpoint, I mean, like I said, we use the word reggae, but it's an umbrella.
Yeah.
Truth be told, 9 times out of 10, when you look on these stages, it's not the artists that we would categorize as dancehall artists that are on these stages. It's the artists that we categorize as reggae artists, right? And if you're talking about a competitive space, the Afrobeats people, if they're in competition, it would be with the dancehall market, not the reggae market. So I've never really grasped or was able to understand why people have that, try to stir up that little beef between reggae and
that's
Afrobeats.
That's not necessary at all, And I mean, it's a big world, as I said before, and people have different tastes in music, and we're fortunate, Jamaican musicians and persons who participate in the music industry in Jamaica. We're fortunate that our music, touches on so many other genres and markets,
right?
Because that is how it has always been. So it provides opportunities for persons who have different tastes in music,
Right.
producers and artists. You want to do dancehall, and you want to. I mean, a lot of people criticize what they would want to call negative messages and imagery in dancehall. And I was just speaking to Sister Irie about artists that I was scared of when I was growing up, some rock and roll artists. I used to see them and I said, man, these guys look like some vampires, you know. I was scared of them, you know, because of how they looked.
Right.
And when I saw, you know, videos, clips of how they performed, I said, man, I don't want to be at that show. Yeah. So music has always been very diverse in terms of how it is presented, what message it is communicating, and what audience it is attracting. So what is going on in dancehall that people are having a problem with? We've always had what some people are going to call negative messages in our music. But at the time when we were seeing those rock and roll artists, that scared me. I was still able to see Marvin Gaye.
Right.
You know?
Had options.
Had options. You know?
Yeah.
So don't worry about the dancehall thing.
Yeah. If that ain't for you, leave it be.
If that is not for you, just let it be. What we need is some Marvin Gaye in today's time. Or some Bob Marley, right?
Yeah. Today's version of it.
Different strokes for different folks. You can't tell a man that he must stop listening to him devil music. That's what he wants. Let him have it. You know, that shouldn't prevent you from advancing what you want to represent. So we just need to push on and just do what we consider to be, you know, our purpose. You know, if you think reggae music is the music to heal the nation, and let us go and try heal the nation and stop chat.
you know, when I saw you post and the thread was going down, right? There was a recurring theme, and it bothers me sometimes when, you know, our people dissect it, and maybe it's fair, maybe they'll succumb to certain things because, you know what, they want you to stop doing something or do something because of the overall fear. But one of the things that I heard people saying are echoing a lot is agreement with, again, we didn't know how accurate the statement was or not, but they agreed with what was printed in terms of many of these artists. The term that they use is overcharge and pricing themselves out, or whatever the case may be, right? Not factoring some of what you said earlier, which is the overall cost. If the artist that lives there cost charge you $1, the artist that doesn't live there can't charge $1 because there's costs to come there, and it's highly unlikely that the person bringing you there is going to pay for your travel to get there too, right? So stuff like that don't factor in. But why you think it is that we automatically, because I think we devalue our own people and our music, you know, we as a people, we not think them to make so much money, right? According to what we think they make. But we had a lot of people who were echoing that sentiment. Yes, these people are pricing themselves out on the market and overcharging. Did you see those in the comments? And what
I saw those, and there are artists who are asking too much money. I've had that experience. Yeah, there are artists who are asking too much money. The money that they're asking is not justified based on who they can, you know, pull to the venue.
Right.
So that does happen. But I don't think we should be making any kind of blanket statement about artists are charging too much.
Right.
That's not the case at all.
Right.
There are people who don't know how to, you know, measure what they should be charging to perform on an event. That does happen.
And they're just like grab a thing.
But just don't make a blanket statement that
to say everybody is.
The reason why this thing isn't working is because the artists are too expensive. No. That's not an accurate statement at all.
And the thing is, I think things have gone wrong, but people use it as a default now. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to justify, right, the issues, you can default to that because it has happened before. You know, where yes, artists are difficult, but you also mentioned if we think that artists are difficult, go try to deal with some of the rock and roll artists, or some of the hip hop artists, some of the R&B artists. So that obviously is not the issue.
No.
So now let's talk about some music that is coming out right now. Again, my favorite right now, Stephen Marley, right? To me, that's the bar, Old Soul. And some people say, Grammy already, you know, right? But of course, you know, because people will always be mad because it's a Marley and they feel like you don't forget it, right? When you, of the music that you've heard come out thus far this year, those albums, Does it give you a confidence to say that, okay, you know what? Because we always think about reggae. Sometimes Jamaica stray away from reggae and go on dancehall. Sometimes them stray, but it vacillates. You know what I mean? And I feel like it affects the culture and the temperament of the nation too. Do you feel that energy like we're now straying a little bit back now to the reggae side of things, the root side of things, and there's about to be a reprisal of that music in advance of the dunceness and you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what I put down as the explanation for this outflow of great albums this year. For now, I am going to attribute that to COVID.
You still think that's the reason?
Yeah, until I see a trend.
Right.
In the near future. But I think a lot of people had time to
put together stuff,
write songs and record songs between 2020, 2021, and even into 2022, and a lot of them were just ready to come out now.
Well, if that be the case, and it is having time and sitting down and doing stuff properly, that's attributing to the quality music. So is it also safe to say that sometimes we need to slow down, because a lot of the time when we're putting out too much is when we start putting out the BS?
Yeah. That too, yeah.
Because I am sometimes I always worry about the output, because like we search for the reasons why, and I do think that the output affects it sometimes, right? Because again, the gate openers for those festivals, they have ears too, right? And I feel like when you come to a festival, the mindset and the frame that you're expecting from a festival is just good old have a good time, kumbaya, burn some herbs, and then the thing, I hippie up the thing, right? And if the temperament of the music coming from a specific space is darker and more aggressive, and whatever the case may be, and might not fit the tone of that, sometimes people don't have the time to be sifting through and figuring out if them five names still make the type of music what we want. I mean, while we're not saying that there's a product problem, is there any correlation of the product itself to the lack of presence on these festivals? Or you still think no?
No, I don't think there's any relationship with product quality and the lack of. We have enough quality product, quality artists
to
represent. You know, some of them haven't been highlighted enough.
Right.
Got the right level of support.
Right.
You know, but we have enough, and there is enough quality music being made and persons who can deliver on stage.
Right.
For us to be, you know, more visible within the U.S. space.
Right.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind about that. So we need to figure out why it is that we are not, you know, one, streaming as much to the audience that is out there, and two, why we are not able to perform live as much. Yeah, we need to try and solve those two problems.
And we'll be all right.
And we'll be fine, you know.
Well, when we reach down, we're going to the motherland. With motherland in this case being Jamaica, we're gonna put a fire up on the powers that be. Everybody watching right now that has interest and a soul and savings account need to come together and try to figure out how they can fix this thing here. Jason, most of these festivals rely on streaming numbers and amount of followers, i.e. Spotify monthly listeners. So I guess we need to go figure out how to get those things up, right? Yeah. And there are ways to do so.
Yeah.
Right? There are ways to do so. Would that be? And people would say, well, they can't manipulate the system. Well, believe it or not, the people who you think have those dope numbers, they're manipulating the system too. Not telling you to go doing it wrong, but we have to focus on it, whether it be more marketing, just figuring out who our market is, because I think that's an issue sometimes too. We don't know who our market is. We think it's the whole world when it's not.
Yeah, but our within the United States, I think our core audience, which would be the persons who are from our community, but just happen to be resident in the United States.
Right.
including the younger ones, you know, the ones who probably were born here, but you know they are Caribbean people,
Right.
because within their household, that's what they're exposed to.
Right.
And we need to, not just here, but even at home in Jamaica, I think we need to also do a better job at educating the younger generation about this Jamaican music thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that they can really respect and understand the value of it. You know, because a lot of the younger people around us don't really know anything about the origin and how our music has evolved.
It's like trust fund babies.
Yeah, and the impact that our music has on the world.
Right.
You know, so they tend sometimes not to be able to recognize that some of these stars that they gravitate towards, just like what happened with Little Richard. You know, some of these people that, you know, they want to chase behind, they are inspired by the music that is coming out of their culture that they are not aware of.
Right.
You know, so we need to do a better job at educating the younger generation about the music of Jamaica. Yeah, that will go a long way.
How do we do
not
that?
just the younger generation, you know, of Jamaicans, younger generation period.
Right.
Need to know more.
Do we focus? And again, I look at the people walking into these gates. Again, they're not the same people who came out to see Bob. They're not the same people who came out to see Third World, right? Do we?
When you say they're not the same people, I mean the people who went to see Bob and Third World. Yeah,
they're chilling at home right now.
Them all like me, right?
Yeah, young baby man. But for the most part, when you go to a festival, because I've been to some of the festivals, and maybe it's over the last 10 years, and people decide, I don't want to deal with the crowd and stuff like that anymore. But when I look at the people walking through these gates now, there are significantly younger audience, right?
Of course.
So when we talk about teaching our folks to respect and appreciate the legacy, which I think is very, very important, sometimes the youths complain of like it's almost like a beatdown, right? Because they feel I personally I feel like history is important, but historians are dangerous, right? And those people who will live the past at the expense of the present, right? That's a dangerous thing, and we do have some of those within our sphere, right? But we're talking about how do the younger folks, because most of those people most of them older folks don't want to go on a festival anyway because they can't manage. How do the younger folks, who we always look at and say, yo, them have a lock on the social media, they got this covered, they're great at it, but there still is a disconnect. And I mean, does that mean educating them on the social media sphere, or just letting people know that this costs money? Because I think that's another thing to artists don't want to spend money for them thing. And I think the investment from them, not necessarily in a global space for every reggae artist, but just in their product and their branding and their imagery and their sound, will affect it in a positive way. But I feel like artists sometimes feel like, nah, I want to invest in it because, you know, it's supposed to be organic. There's something about reggae music that people feel like if it's not organic down to the root, when people use terms like, if it's good, it'll get out there. I have a friend of mine always talk about good stuff sell itself. I was like, I've never seen good stuff get up and sell nothing yet. If you won't sell it or market it, it will never sell, right? But is there an issue with us thinking that because it's reggae music and it's roots music and stuff like that, we're not supposed to push it a certain way? It's supposed to just organically grow legs and walk.
There are a number of persons who will say things like that. I've heard that said a lot. You know, that once the music is good, you don't need to market it. I'm not aware of any product or service that works like that. You know, no matter how good it is, you know, you need to make people be aware that it is there, and that they, you know, if this is what they like, it is being offered here, and you can go get it. You know, so you have to do your marketing, you know, even if it is good and very good. You know what I mean? And we have so many examples of that. You know, I mean, Bob Marley is the most, you know, I guess, perfect example we can look to as people who are into Jamaican music. You know, he was properly marketed, is, still is. You know, and that is the edge he has. When the movie dropped January, is January? Or January?
January, late January.
Right. No, actually was shifted to Valentine's Day.
Oh, they pushed it back?
Yeah, so the movie is coming out on the 14th of February.
Wow, romantic grass.
One Love.
One Love.
Right. That sounds like marketing to me.
Yeah, it does sound like
One Love on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Get the regular fans and just the people who are
One
caught.
Love on Valentine's
the whole
Day.
thing,
You don't need
yeah.
anything more than that. Right? So yeah, it's all about marketing.
So we probably can say that our biggest failure is the marketing part.
Absolutely. You know, as big as Bob Marley is.
But then marketing costs money.
I think they deliberately shifted the date.
To in the One Love Valentine's Day vibe.
Yes. But they just said it was delayed.
Yeah. Still
but
editing.
It's a very strategic delay
Yeah.
because I think it works better than any other day.
Yeah.
Only other day that would be better than Valentine's Day for Bob Marley, One Love, would be Bob Marley's birthday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever set for that. I think it was initially scheduled for, was it January or was it February?
Originally, when the first trailer came out, it said January.
Okay. Well, it is now Valentine's Day.
Wow.
That was recently announced.
Right.
So yeah, that's marketing.
So we need to buckle up. But you know what though, and I must agree with you because I think not just from a music standpoint, I think marketing is not something we do well. And when I say we, I mean our own. Because even the marketing of the country, I mean, if I was giving up pink slips and if I was grading, I'd hit the marketing the pass. I see.
Yeah, we
You know?
have not done a good job at all.
So we're struggling in every avenue of marketing.
Yeah, but we need to. And I'm gonna go back to knowing what it is, because some people, and it was said in the conversations online,
right,
that we need to know what product it is that we are marketing. We're marketing the music that comes out of Jamaica,
right,
and that is why it is important to know what constitutes the music that comes out of Jamaica. Yeah. A lot of people really don't know, and a lot of people don't understand when you say reggae what you are referring to. We're just referring to, from a marketing standpoint, all forms of Jamaican music. Yeah, and we it has grown. It is all over the world, and a lot of people don't know the difference between. People don't know the difference between mento and calypso. People don't know the difference between
reggae and lovers rock.
Reggae, lovers rock, and rock steady.
Yeah, that's true.
And people don't know the difference between dancehall and reggae music. So it is important for us to, help to, educate. Yeah, because that will help you to expand your audience, I would think. And you're not trying to necessarily get everybody who is educated to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to start checking this music instead of that because I now know. That's not the point, really. The point is just to provide more clarity, which will help in the marketing of the music, so that you won't have people telling you what is reggae when you already explain exactly how it came about and how it has evolved.
I think that's very valid. That's a very valid point because, again, you said people might be looking at it like, okay, or the negative side, but I think the positive side of doing that from education is for those people who aren't, because I know everybody love reggae, in the sense of what reggae is presented to be, right?
Right.
Because you have a lot of people who have zero interest in listening to Spear, right? Zero interest in listening to Sizzler, but will spend their last dime go listen to Berries. Right. So if there's some people who are educated about that and more so for the ears and eyes that for some reason, one reason, because some people just don't like revolutionary stuff and they just want love and vibes. They might say, oh, snap, I didn't know that there was lovers rock under the umbrella too. I didn't know. And maybe I'm dialed into that. So I do think it can benefit from that vantage point. Another thing that I think, and you can tell me if you think it would be beneficial for even our presence outside of the nation on these foreign festivals, is festivals at home. if we were having festivals in Jamaica that was luring the world eyes, because if we are the originators of reggae and they came there to study it, so to speak, right? Just like them come study Sunsplash and then gone somewhere else with it. If we had festivals happening in Jamaica, like solid, proper festivals, do you think it would have an effect on our presence on international festivals?
I think we have passed that stage, you know, in the reggae Sunsplash era. Reggae and Jamaican music is too big and in too much of a demand globally for Jamaica to try and present it to the world from Jamaica. You know, I mean, yes, Jamaica, it is good for Jamaica to develop a space where people come to Jamaica to enjoy not just the music but the whole experience of, you know, going to your festival, your reggae festival in Jamaica. That's an experience. But as a tool to expand our presence in the international space, I'm not so sure if our festivals in Jamaica would do that right now. I think the festivals have already done that because it is Sunsplash that has now become Rotterdam, that has become Summer Jam. All of those promoters and organizers were at Sunsplash. Right? That's where they discovered this festival thing, reggae festival thing, and they took it and developed it in their various countries. You know, so we have done that part.
Right.
You know, I don't think we need to go back there. You know, we need to address other issues. But more that issues that are more outside of Jamaica that's impacting our presence in those markets outside of Jamaica.
So if we're trying to affect the markets and the places and the spaces outside of Jamaica, doesn't that automatically present some limitations if these people trying to make that affect are in and within Jamaica?
You think if South Floridians, you think if the Jamaicans in South Florida come together, anybody can stop them?
So you're talking about the diaspora here?
No, I'm just giving you a small example.
Right.
If the Jamaicans in South Florida decide that they went, you know that South Florida have a reggae festival? To me,
crazy.
a festival is more than one day. Maybe I don't understand what festival means, right? But if you have an event one day, you have a concert, you have a show. If you have 3 days, I think you have a festival.
Right.
Name the South Florida multi-day, Southeast Florida multi-day reggae festival.
My people will get back to your people about that.
Okay.
So,
all right. So where is the heaviest concentration of reggae fans? Right.
Well, that's a word that we have to worry about. The fans. We have a heavy concentration of expats. And the diaspora, I don't know if I would consider them reggae fans. Can them not support the thing? Don't fans support?
I don't know how it is being presented to them. Is it even,
so do you think that's what
it is even being presented to them?
Well, you're talking about a festival. No,
a festival.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Why don't we have a multi-day reggae festival in a part of the United States that probably have over 500,000 Jamaican people. Just Jamaican people. I'm not talking about other people who love reggae music.
So when we had the other festivals here, that was, and again, I'm losing the word loosely, right? Because it wasn't no 3-day event, right? It was a 1-day thing. When we had those so-called festivals, the 500,000 people weren't showing up. It wasn't us that was selling out those places. So from an investment standpoint, if I'm the investor, I can't judge it based on the 500,000 people.
But why are promoters able to go up to St. Petersburg and have reggae rise up and get?
Because they don't have to depend on us.
No, hold on, and it is promoted as a reggae festival, and they get thousands of people over there 3 days, and to the point where them just go and replicate it in Las Vegas, and there were already festivals in California.
Yeah.
Right?
Colorado now.
Yeah. Yet, in a part of the United States where you have the most receptive population and the most receptive concentration of people who love come on social media, come chat and complain, right? There's no 3-day reggae festival in that space.
So
And they're making the most noise.
So what you're saying, loosely translated here, is if we set up these festivals and people who are on social media typing in your feed would show up at these festivals, we'd be all right.
I'm just saying, that if we came together,
Right.
I don't see any reason why the reggae community that developed what has become Cali Roots and Reggae Rise Up and all of those festivals that we are complaining about. They came together and they developed a market and they built it from zero.
But they had receptive people though. Like we don't have that on yourself. We have a lot of people, but
them don't have no ethnic or historical connection
to the thing. Yeah.
But they were still able to develop something.
I get you.
To the point where it becomes this thing that we are so scared of.
Right.
Yet in our own community, where we are so passionate that if a man say he never have to say reggae. He doesn't have to say like he may say reggae. I don't want to chop off them head, right? Yet we have not done anything to even develop a little thing for ourselves in a space like South Florida.
I don't know.
Yes, so when I think about those things, I'm saying, we need to just stop the talking and
start walking.
And just get some things done, and we'll be okay.
I do hope and pray that people are listening, people are heeding the words. And I also do hope and pray that if they do heed the words, we can get the support will be there, because then it'll be another thing that comes and goes. What will never come and go is our complaints. We're complaining permanently. But the support is, there like that.
Yeah, we need to.
So, and that's why I always say I'm not enthused by the people who complain. Because the people who complain, and I know some names, and them not, it's maybe wrong for me to say this, but I don't think they've earned the right to complain. And guess what? Or maybe I should say they've forfeited the right to complain because they don't necessarily support it the way it is. There's a special thing around the corner, rumor report, right? Special thing coming up in called Reggae Genealogy. I look a birdie drop a thing in my ears, and them say, "You're the man. We can shed some light on this Reggae Genealogy." It sounds, first of all, the title of that sounds dope. It sounds like something that can even help this whole reggae thing. But them say, "You're the man." So while you're sitting in the chair before you go, I have to ask you about it.
Well, as you described it, Reggae Genealogy. Well, genealogy is supposed to help you to trace where you come from,
right,
and who you're related to. Basically, if you want to break down the term, So Reggae Genealogy is something that is being developed as a showcase by the Island Space Caribbean Museum, and it is designed to showcase the origin, evolution, and influence of Jamaican music. To tell a story.
Right.
So sorry about that. To tell a story, coming from pre-independence Jamaica. We were looking at our early folk music that transitioned into what was our first popular music form, mento, through to ska, reggae, rocksteady, lovers rock, dancehall, and the other music genres that have been influenced by reggae, whether it be hip-hop, reggaeton, of course, EDM,
Afrobeat.
And Afrobeats. And of course, within all of that, you have to deal with dub music and all of those. So Reggae Genealogy is a showcase that will tell the story about the origin of Jamaican music, the evolution of the music, and how the music has influenced other musical cultures. So it's gonna go way back from Miss Lou.
Wow.
Miss Lou is the first DJ. You know.
Cool, no, man.
A lot of people even realize
Rhythm,
that.
I know rhythm. She had dropped the thing.
And Miss Lou is the person who made us proud to chat patois. To the
Publicly.
point where, publicly, to the point where we felt comfortable to chat patois on the rhythm.
Yep.
And to put patois in our lyrics and how we presented our music vocally. So he's gonna tell that story,
right?
Including Harry Belafonte and how he contributed to the advancement of this music and how the music evolved over the period, to where it is today. So we are putting together a showcase presentation, called Reggae Genealogy that will happen in February next year.
So February next year. So you'll educate the masses on its origins, the prehensibility of it, the outspread, whatever the case may be, but of course still capture for the young people today.
Absolutely.
And what's going on today.
Absolutely. It's going to connect to what is happening today.
Where for the folks in South Florida, are those people who want to get on them JetBlue and thing, where exactly are we talking about?
So the Island Space Caribbean Museum is in Plantation, in the Broad Mall. And, we are in discussions with the Broad Mall itself to host the showcase in their car park. So, yes, it will be a City of Plantation event. And, we're hoping to, present something that would be entertaining and educational and will be recorded, for purposes of helping with the marketing of the music.
We can't stop
that. Because you have to know what it is you have to market. To take to the market, where it came from. And how it has impacted the world. So that will also tell you where some of the potential markets are. When you look at how it has impacted the world, and through understanding the music's, tradition or tradition, where it walked to get to where it is at now. That would certainly put you in a better position to find solutions for marketing. If you know where to look to for certain types of interest in what you're doing. I don't think we have capitalized sufficiently on the Latin American community, considering
so true.
How much reggaeton has grown in Latin America. And it named reggae, it don't name ton,
It don't name dancehall ton,
It don't name rocksteady ton or jazz ton. It named reggaeton, right? And it is the biggest. It has contributed to the Latin American music market being the fastest growing music market, reggaeton.
And they've appreciated my encounter, my experiences with the Latin American market is they also hold on to the reggae that sometimes we are run from, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. So they have managed to, maintain a strong grip on traditional reggae music. That artist that I mentioned from Argentina is a perfect example. And at the same time, them give you Bad Bunny. So
that Yankee a bag of people.
And you're right. So they cover the spectrum. I don't think we have capitalized sufficiently on that.
Right.
In a market that is growing so fast.
And this reggae genealogy will expose people to that, so they can think about that a little bit more.
So we can understand how that came to happen. How did the word reggae even end up in Latin America?
Wow. Some education for these folks. Is it an all-day thing?
Yes.
It's almost like a festival.
Well, the showcase will be between 6 and 9 p.m., but there will be other activities throughout the day because the museum is right there.
Right.
So we're hoping to host maybe one panel discussion and visits to the museum, where there is a section within the museum that captures quite a bit of the music history of the Caribbean, because it's a Caribbean museum.
So if I come up, I might see how some performers doing them things.
We're gonna have a combination of live music, band music, backing up artists. We haven't determined who the artists are, and we're gonna have DJ music, and we're gonna have people performing to tracks and video presentations. It's a combination of those elements that will be the showcase, and hopefully we'll have a panel discussion earlier in the day, before the showcase starts.
And I presume some official word will be released soon so that people can
Very
actually go on.
soon we will be, once some of the key components are finalized, we'll be making an official announcement about it. And Island Space is, as it says, Island Space Caribbean music. So even though this is about reggae and the evolution of reggae, and it's being presented in Reggae Month, it's still going to be something appealing to the Caribbean community, because we will also be, revealing to those who didn't know the fact that a lot of the contributors to the formation of reggae didn't come from Jamaica.
Right.
A lot of them came from Cuba.
Trinidad.
The Cubans taught us how to play horns, basically, because most of the major hornsmen in Jamaica's music are Cubans. Roland Alfonso and Tommy McCook and all these people are Cuban-born people.
Right.
One of the greatest guitarists in reggae come from Trinidad, Lynn Tate. So we are going to show how these persons contributed to the formation of this music. Everybody in Jamaica tried to sing like Curtis Mayfield in the early days. So there are a lot of influences that contributed to the formation of this music, which we are hoping to highlight somehow.
And I love that, because it's something that we appreciate, but for some reason people think that it's not appreciated. But the culture, far and wide, all the contributors are appreciated. Even though we're passionate about this music as reggae music, and with Jamaica put on our shoulders, we're very, very appreciative.
We should be a little bit more appreciative, I would think, and stop being fearful, and talking about people stealing our music when we stole stuff to make our music, right? Because we took stuff from
We're going to edit that out. Right? We're going to edit that out.
No, we took stuff from other cultures to help to... I mean, most of it came out of Africa, and some Jamaicans don't want to identify with Africa.
Yeah, when the word
it or not, right? Right. And I'm just saying that, we embraced and incorporated our African heritage within what we experienced from listening to Fats Domino and, Curtis Mayfield and, the Trinidadian Lord Creator, who came to Jamaica and never left. And all the hornsmen who came from Cuba, that played in Scatterlights, and so it was a Caribbean thing, and that is why it was so easy for the same music to go back out, because it came in.
It already had roots somewhere else.
Exactly, it came in via contributions from persons from various places. It was easy to go back out. And that is the thing that we have not been able to probably manage or appropriately handle to our full advantage. So I think doing something like Reggae Genealogy will help us along the way. Because we understand what it is that we have, then we'll be better able to treat with it and market it and get our rightful place
in the market,
in the space.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, chopping it up with Sir Lloyd Stanbury, mentioning Rita Marley, Cuban too.
Rita Marley, born in Cuba,
Born in Cuba.
Mortimer Planner, who teach Bob Marley and all of them about Rastafari, is a Cuban. So we need to, that may explain why it was so easy. And there are other reasons why it was easy for Latin America to embrace reggae. It's Jamaican people go Panama and build the canal,
That is true. That is very, 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 very true.
Over 100,000 Jamaicans.
Hence the heavy Jamaican population right now. That's in Panama.
Went to over 100 years ago. And a lot of them never came back to Jamaica. So the whole, and they went throughout Central America.
Costa Rica.
It was very easy when the mirror reggae, them say, yeah, man, it's all music that.
Drop it. Breadfruit, Aki, and reggae music. And of course, if they hop onto Island Space on IG and Facebook, you know, that's probably the best place right now to hear little things
You'll
about
get
it.
more information about this reggae genealogy project.
And if they follow you too, you're going to drop things.
We'll be talking about it.
Where can the masses follow you?
Lloyd Stanbury. Wherever I go, I leave my name. So it's Lloyd Stanbury at Instagram, and it's Lloyd Stanbury Facebook, Lloyd Stanbury, Stanbury Lloyd on Twitter.
Right.
But Lloyd Stanbury is not hard to find.
Right.
And we'll be putting out more information as we go along, you know, about this project coming up. And yeah, let us stop the whole part talking.
And do some things.
You know, we're going to try and do a little thing with reggae genealogy. Just do something.
Yeah. Set a blueprint.
Yeah, but South Florida is fertile ground.
Yeah, it's blasphemy that they haven't capitalized on it.
It's fertile ground. I mean,
yeah.
if someone can build a whole movement out of Cali with something that they have no ethnic connection with.
Why not here?
And they never had a receptive audience that's sitting down there complaining every day.
Yeah. But you think you think our complaints are? Is it hunger? Is hunger why we're complaining?
We just love to complain.
Oh, okay.
So all I'm asking is that we just stop complaining.
Yeah. Stop the talking and start walking.
Let's stop the talking and let's try and get together, and we'll find ways to get things done. There's people who are doing some great things, you know. Yeah. I always will refer to the Marleys, you know. They're doing great work.
Absolutely.
In terms of making a contribution as to how we should market what we have.
They don't half step with that.
And people love to criticize that.
I think nobody gets more criticism than the Marleys, but unfortunately, I think it is you can't hide. It is no different from, you know, I've always heard over the years of my listening to reggae music, people say, "Oh, what the next Bob Marley?" One time we say Garnet Silk, one time we say Sizzler. You notice I never heard them say it's one of the Marleys. So, you know what I mean? I'd never heard him say that. I listen to Stephen Cat a lot.
There won't be another Bob Marley, so we can stop.
We can stop the conversation.
We can stop looking for that.
Right.
Because he's still here. Right? He's still very much among us.
Right.
Because his music is just there, ever present.
Yeah.
You know, so we just accept that.
Right.
You know, what we need to do is learn from him.
Right.
You know, and I think his kids have learned the most from him. And they're practicing it.
Right.
And they're being vilified by a lot of people.
Like you said, people have complained.
You know, so...
Same people are complaining right now.
Yeah, we need to ease off on the complaining and the chatting and just...
I'm going to download 2 albums.
But do some things.
Stream 2 album. I'll stop make a bag of noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll look out for my album when it comes in March. Sir Lloyd, give thanks to them. Thank you so much, sir. I know I kept you over the time, but thank you so much for passing through, shed some light, shed some knowledge.
No
of
problem.
course, we could have used another 4 or 5 hours, but we're split it up.
Yeah, we're good, man.
We're split it up. But I give thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Lloyd Stanbury. And I must say thank you to everybody listening in from near and far, all those people. I'll get to the comments later. When I'm getting, have our nice reasoning, a lot of times can't check them right away, but I'm going to definitely check them, all right? So, sir, thank you a million. I'm going to get out of here with this Nikki Fire. You know what I mean? She's doing some nice things, dropping our tune. This is our single. It's called At Last. Sir Stanbury, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's a time. Right.
At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like the sun. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you, I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I have never up in clover. In clover. The night I looked at you, I found a dream that I could speak to. A dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to. A thrill that I have never known. Oh, you smiled, yes, you smiled. And then spell was cast. Now here we are in heaven. 'Cause you are mine at I found a dream that I can speak to. A dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to. A thrill that I have never known. Oh, you smile, and then that spell was cast. Now here we are in heaven. 'Cause you are mine at last. Yes, you are mine at last. Yes, you are mine. Yeah.
Nikki Fire, ladies and gentlemen, it's called At Last. I got to get up out of here. I want to thank y'all so much for rocking, all right? Much love, much love, much love, much love. It is my time. I got to go. Peace out, everybody.
Nakikinika sa música Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.